Hello and welcome back to the Brick Den and the third update for building Kamino. Now we start this update off slightly jumping ahead from the last one because I've now finished the floor work for the main hangar. It didn't take too long, but I am happy with how it's turned out, and the design has changed slightly and my plan has changed slightly for that from the last update. But then now I am working on the white corridor and the armory to the right of that. I want to integrate the white corridor, even if it's just a small part of it, because it's very predominantly featured in Attack of the Clones, so it's important to me to get a part of that into the MOC. And then the small room to the right of that, as I said, is the armory, and at the moment I just basically put in the basic wall structure in, none of the details. I'll come back to that later. Then once I'd finished the flooring or the roofing above the corridor and the armory and testing that the gunship would fit in that area, I then unfortunately had to repair the front section, which did slow the progress down quite a bit because unfortunately it is proving to be quite temporary. But once I'd fixed that, I then moved on to testing and prototyping with the pillar, but unfortunately I couldn't make too much progress because I really should have done the tiling under that before. So I have now made some pretty substantial progress, as you can see, and the MOC is coming along quite nicely. This area over here is where the gunship is going to go, and as you can see it does fit there quite nicely. It will have to be adjusted slightly because of the wall over on the left hand side. I've also pretty much finished these two areas inside here, although that one has got to get all the weapons inside there because that's going to be a small armory, so that one does need a little bit of work, but this is going to stay relatively the same and I'm happy with how that's turned out. I've also done this area over here as well, and there are going to be some lights in this MOC. You can probably see the wires poking up over here, and to access that you just have to remove the stairs here, and then the switch is going to be under here. I might need to come up with a more formal way to fasten that in place though. But for the rest of the update I'm just going to finish some of the tiling up at the front, and I also might get on to working a little bit more on the pillars. So in this part of the update you can see my mic in the bottom left hand corner, and that is there for the live stream that I was doing. Unfortunately I wasn't able to make too much progress during the live stream, but I did just work on the tiling at the front, and then that meant after the live stream I was able to do more experimenting with the pillars, which came along quite nicely in the end. It was quite difficult trying to capture the shapes that we see in the source material, but I am happy with how they turned out, and I'm definitely ready now to make a lot more progress in the next update. So I'm pretty much at a point now where I know exactly the techniques I'm going to be using for the pillar. The one over here is definitely more finished because it's got the slopes on the side where this one hasn't. There's still a little bit more experimenting to do up here, but pretty much I've got all the testing done and all the prototyping done. So next update I'll really be able to get on and finish the pillars, hopefully build the wall over here pretty quickly, get all this tiling finished and everything like that. I do of course have the lights coming up here, so I've still got my options open as to what I'm going to do with that. I'm still not quite sure about that yet. Now something I was wondering is about the overhang here. I'm not sure if this overhang on this side is too great in comparison to this one, and I'm more talking about this pillar towards the back here, whether this distance from the pillar to the right hand side of the MOC is too great in comparison to the pillar to the left hand side of the MOC. Now I'd just like your opinions on this in the comments down below, so tell me what you think. And it's going to be quite difficult to adjust the pillars if you do think that's going to be necessary, but I'm definitely not against doing it. And I've also been working a little bit more on this front section over here, tiling it up a little bit. I know what I'm doing now. I've slightly changed the pattern up here just to use some of the new wedge plates instead of just having it all rectangular, but I've used them all in this part, so over here and over there won't be that, but I think it looks relatively okay and is relatively accurate. But I'm not trying to be 100% accurate, I'm only trying to take the source material as inspiration, as I always do with all of my MOCs. Just swiveling the MOC around now so you get a look at it from the other side. There's no real changes here since earlier in the update, but you can see the back of the pillars here. I do want to make some changes to the lower part, but I'll have a look at that in the next update. The gunship is of course way out of scale to the rest of the MOC, but I really just could never make it minifigure scale. Maybe it does look better without it, as it makes it look like there's less of a scale issue, but still I did want to build the area for the gunship just as almost a way to display my custom gunship that I built. But that does of course bring this update to an end. Hopefully the next update will be the last one, but I can't promise that because a lot of progress will have to be made. But I may be able to do something similar to what I did with the last Arkham update, where I held it off just a little bit so I could really finish the MOC and make a lot of progress, because I don't like the updates to go on for too long. But besides that, don't forget to leave a like if you did enjoy the video and subscribe so you don't miss that update or the MOC showcase for the MOC when it does come out. But most of all, thank you so much for watching.